the highlight was again the gunplay and combat, and you're going to get to see some of that soon. All of the missions are approachable in a variety of ways. You can come in guns blazing, you can go in stealthily, you can approach from this way, that way, above, ground level, however you see fit. And I really like that. I'm much more of a stealth player. I like to feel like I've got this like upper hand and take guys out from the shadows, and this game allows you to do just that. Now, there were definitely moments where I had to open fire because the odds became stacked definitely too heavily in the opposition's favor, but I liked being able to come in quiet most of the time. And I was able to do that with a silenced pistol that was my go-to weapon. It was super... it was a great pistol. You know, some people in recent releases have complained that the shooting requires a little bit of, tweaking to, how fast the reticle moves, or they don't feel like the guns are, sounding or playing right. Here I felt like the gunplay was possibly the strongest thing that Mafia Iii had to offer. You'll see right there a weapon wheel as well as a perk wheel that calls in special advantages from your underbosses. And this is a huge part of the game that I'm going to want to talk about multiple times throughout this video, because as Lincoln, you have 3 underbosses who you've seen in past trailers and whatnot, and they factor heavily into not only the storyline, but also the gameplay. Your interactions with them will affect the story, will affect your relationships, and can in turn affect the gameplay, because these characters are responsible for providing you with new weapons, new passive skills, and new active perks that we saw there on the weapon wheel. Things like a mobile store, things like calling in a hit squad, things like cutting the phone lines for a certain amount of time, things like bribing the police for a certain amount of time. A lot of really cool... skill is kind of a weird word, but they're more like perks. Because it's not directly modifying Lincoln, but it's modifying what he can do and how he can approach situations. I walked through this exact little trailer this exact way, stealth that first guy, and then went ham on these dudes, and you'll get to see that in a second. What I found interesting as well is how the game is structured. There's a bunch of different districts in the game, and you will approach them however you see fit. Obviously, there is an overarching plot structure. One of the strengths of Mafia as a series is its linearity in storytelling, and therefore its emphasis on plot and production value and really getting you from A to Z in this character's tale. But you will be able to tackle multiple districts at a time and approach them in not only a variety of ways within each mission, but a variety of orders from those missions. It's even possible to be dealing with 2 districts at once. So if you're getting bored with one or want to move to a different area, that is fine. You can have 2 kind of balanced at the same time. The district that I played had 2 different rackets. One was already completed for me, and that culminated in a bathhouse takeover. You're looking to build up different headquarters, you're looking to take over the districts, and then you will assign those hideouts, those headquarters, and the districts to one of your 3 underbosses. And based on how much and how often you assign those to them, they will reward you or they may hate you. So you'll get new guns, like I mentioned, and new either perks or new levels of those perks, or they will become pissed off with you, and that will change the dynamics of the story. Now, I wasn't able to suss out exactly where that would end up by the end of the game, but they sounded like they are leaning towards possibly places where maybe one of the bosses either betrays you or disavows you or decides that they are no longer going to be on your side, which I think could be super interesting. There's going to be many different endings, a lot of permutations based on how you interact with those underbosses. But back to the mission structure and sort of the game design, these districts house